Before Danny McBride would find fame in a TV series like Eastbound and Down, and would go down and become not only the star, but the creator of Righteous Gemstones. He would also have a movie career in comedies like The End, Tropic Thunder, as well as other badass blockbusters like Alien Covenant. Danny didn't get his start in Hollywood right until his mid-30s. He's a self-described movie nerd whose intentional goal was to work behind the scenes as a writer and director. However, he would get 2 last-minute phone calls from old film school buddies that would change his life forever and turn him into an unlikely Hollywood hero. If you want to learn about the story of Danny McBride, then stay tuned to The Famous Life. This is a brand new channel, so to be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know who you want us to feature in the comments down below. Danny McBride was born on December 29th in 1976 in Statesboro, Georgia. He spent his early years growing up in a small town of Spotsville, Virginia. His ancestors were Irish Catholics from Northern Ireland who came from Virginia in the 1970s. However, his life and his family would break away from religion. I'll come back to that subject in a second. As a child, Danny was a surprisingly well-behaved young kid who didn't really get into a whole lot of trouble. He learned early on what separated him from his peers was his love of film and his wild imagination. Before hitting his teens, he knew he was destined for film school, and around the 6th grade, he started making films in his backyard. As a kid, he'd wrangle up whomever he could find on the school bus and ended up making war movies in his backyard. He had a mix of cast of different characters appearing in his projects, from the quarterback, from the football team, to the drummer in the marching band. Speaking with Rolling Stone, his mother Kathy Rudy recalled a film where Danny's friend jumped off a porch and broke his arm while young Danny kept filming. His obsession for film would even go further, with him recording the audio from films to his Walkman, so he could take the audio from films like Mr. Mom with him as he rode around on the neighborhood on his BMX bike. His parents would split when he was 10, and his mom soon remarried after. By now, his young family were living in Charleston, South Carolina, and his family's church was divided to turn their backs on his mother when she divorced his father. Previous to this, religion had a huge part of this family's identity, with his mom having done ceremonies for the children at church in the form of puppet shows. This was a tough time for the family, with a single mother raising 2 children while working at a department store. Mom and his new stepdad found work as a civilian support Quantico Marine Corps base. Danny graduated from Cortland High School and stuck with his plan of attending film school, but it wasn't in New York or UCLA. Danny enrolled in North Carolina School of Arts, and in his freshman dorm, he roomed alongside his future collaborators Jody Hill, David Gordon Green. Initially, for the next decade and a half, Danny had no intention of becoming an actor. He was aspired to be a director and a screenwriter. After graduating in 1998, Danny packed up his things and made the move to Hollywood, but it was a slow start. He found work as a waiter and as the night manager of the Holiday Inn in Burbank. After a few years of toil, he got a steady job in the movies as he got a motion control cameraman, meaning that he would zoom in and pull back on photos and documentaries like Dogstown, Z-Boys, or VH1's Behind the Music. At the time, he felt like he had achieved his goals, but was a phone call away that would change his life. His old university pal, David Gordon Green, was shooting an indie romance titled All the Real Girls. And when an actor bailed, he called up his funniest man he knew, Danny McBride, to take on the role. Danny quit his job and headed to North Carolina, where the film was being made. Now an actor with a legitimate resume, it didn't do much to further his career at the time. He returned to LA, and a few more impressed with the work that he accomplished. It didn't lead to any work, and never he made enough money to even invest in proper headshots. Now in his early 30s, Danny was starting to reevaluate his plans. He had $15 in his pocket and was driving a 1990s Hyundai Elantra. He decided he would give up on Los Angeles and relocate to North Carolina. He did manage to meet his future wife Gia and convince her to come with him, at least for the drive. Back in North Carolina, Danny got work as a substitute teacher, covering everything from earth science to German. Danny got another phone call from his other pal Jody Hill, who wanted to direct a feature, and had McBride not only co-write the script, but also star in it. This movie was The Foot Fist Way. The Foot Fist Way was about a delusional Taekwondo instructor whose life falls apart after his wife gives her boss a hand job. The Foot Fist Way became a Sundance hit in 2006, and none were more impressed than Will Ferrell and his partner Adam McKay. Their production company scooped it up, and all of a sudden had Danny McBride found himself working for Will Ferrell. They asked him what other types of films the boys wanted to make and put them to work. Soon McBride was everywhere, appearing in movies ranging from Tropic Thunder, Up in the Air, and he quickly made friends with Seth Rogen and found roles in Pineapple Express and The End. Today, Danny McBride states that he's not that much different from the characters he often portrays, although the cast type in this sense is more like his persona, and he's certainly not complaining with all the success he's found. If you enjoyed Danny McBride's journey to fame and to stardom, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also to be sure to let us know which celebrities you want us to cover next. Thank you for tuning in.